And where would he like it?
В ідеальному світі, де б ти і коли б ти хотів битися і...
Я б з задоволенням ще раз приїхав.
I will dismantle him. I will ruin him. He gets absolutely destroyed. Destroyed. There's no comeback. There will be no comeback after he fights me. When I beat him, I'll put him into an early retirement or put him into retirement.
Just weeks before his highly anticipated rematch with Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Inside a closed-door sparring session, Benn delivered a performance that turned heads everywhere, flattening a heavyweight with blistering speed and frightening precision.
It's just respect. It's not done respect. I understand this young guy lost fight. Yeah, he say, hey, listen, continue boxing, continue training, continue study.
Those who witnessed it said the power was unreal. And when footage surfaced showing a visibly stunned Oleksandr Usyk reacting ringside, fans realized this wasn't hype. It was a warning. That knockout wasn't a clip made for social media likes. It was a statement, a message from Benn that he's evolved far beyond the reckless brawler of old. Every movement in that ring screamed control, discipline, and intent. His shots were sharp, his combinations fluid, and the timing ruthless. To drop a man 2 weight divisions above him and make the unified heavyweight champion react in disbelief, that says everything about where Conor Benn is mentally and physically right now. Usyk's shocked expression told its own story.
Usyk saying that he thought Conor Benn won the fight. I don't know if this is true. I can't imagine that he watched that fight and thought that Conor Benn won, because it's just, I landed twice as many punches. But people are telling me it's true. If that's the
story. The Ukrainian maestro, known for his composure, rarely reacts to anything in the gym. But when Benn detonated that right hand, even he couldn't hide his surprise. It was a moment that rippled across the boxing community, proof that Benn's power, confidence, and momentum are very real heading into the rematch. Chris Eubank Jr. didn't take kindly to the headlines.
What I do know is that however ferocious and relentless I was in that first fight, regardless of rehydration clauses and weights and whatever else they're going to throw at me, I will be even more vicious in that ring November 5th.
The notion that a world champion like Usyk had publicly praised Benn before their showdown hit a nerve. For Eubank, this fight was supposed to be his redemption arc, the one that reasserted his dominance and silenced the critics. But suddenly, the energy has shifted. Benn's recent displays of confidence, coupled with genuine progress
for me to ask you, but I'm going to ask it anyway, Bomac. Is there any way you can see that Conor Benn beats your guy?
No, I can't, for the simple fact that it's hard to beat the guy that already didn't beat you. I mean, I can see that Chris is beating him at everything, the press conference, the stare downs, the fight. To me, he got his number, and I think he's going to be in a better position coming into this next fight, because Chris
in the gym have flipped the narrative. What once looked like another Eubank victory is now being painted as a dangerous trap. The talk around boxing circles is no longer about Benn needing to prove himself. It's about whether Eubank can keep up. And Eubank knows it. His recent interviews carry the weight of a man under pressure.
That's what probably surprised, probably what surprised me more than anything was the confidence that he had. He was getting it with me. I was world champion at that point. And this young man came in and he really just...
His tone, sharper, angrier, more defiant, suggests he's ready to go to war. He's promised a version of himself that fans haven't seen before, more aggressive, more ruthless, and more personal. Yet while Eubank talks vengeance, Benn is letting his work speak louder. That knockout in sparring wasn't luck. It was evolution.
Personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought you've got nothing left. You've got nothing. There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was the weight issue and all the build up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think there's? Do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left for Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap, get an outcome in his second fight?
Eubank's trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, is doing everything he can to keep his fighter focused. Publicly, he's brushing off Benn's momentum, dismissing the knockout as gym talk. But deep down, even he knows something's shifted. Bomac has been around long enough to recognize when a fighter catches fire, and Benn's current energy.
And I don't think at this stage Eubank can do a lot more else. He'll try and do what he did, on fight night. It's whether he can go to the well again. I don't think so. If the fight becomes as hard and if it's as the pace and ferocity of the first fight, I'd be very surprised and I'd be amazed if Eubank can.
Is dangerous. Benn's rise isn't about bravado, it's about belief. That sparring session showed more than power. It revealed patience, ring IQ, and maturity. The same intensity that once made him reckless is now controlled. Every punch has a purpose. Every move has a motive. It's the mark of a fighter who's turned his pain into fuel and is now channeling it into precision. No one captured this transformation better than Johnny Nelson, who openly admitted his admiration for Benn's fearlessness.
This would sell out any stadium in the UK. I was going to see it in the world there, but probably not in America because that many people wouldn't fly over. It would sell out a lot. But the fight location still hasn't been announced yet, but I do know that it's going to be on September 20th. Now,
that takes self-belief, Nelson said. To step in with a heavyweight and dominate like that, it's not just confidence, it's conviction. Nelson's assessment cuts to the truth. Benn isn't trying to match intensity anymore. He's dictating it. The controlled aggression he displayed under pressure shows a fighter who's evolving in real time. Nelson also pointed out what many have begun to whisper, that while Eubank still possesses skill and experience, the sharpness that once defined him seems to be fading. In contrast, Benn is getting faster, stronger, and mentally sharp.
Fight, and I think Eubank Jr., if he gets this win, and there's a new lease of life maybe under Bomac, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion. But he's got to get past Conor Benn first, and Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy Benn in this.
With every camp. The confidence he's gained from that knockout has completely changed his energy. It's youth versus experience now, but momentum, Nelson believes, is on Benn's side. Respected trainer Dave Coldwell voiced what many insiders have wondered. Has Eubank still got enough left in the tank for another war? He asked. The question lingered. Eubank's career has been defined by durability and pride, but those wars take a toll. Meanwhile, Benn's hunger burns brighter than ever. His training camps are built around discipline and explosive repetition. That recent sparring knockout wasn't an accident. It was the result of relentless grind. Coldwell sees it clearly. If Eubank can't match Benn's intensity...
we don't want the fight going 12 rounds. So that means we have to, the best chance of that is to employ a different strategy, have different tactics, have a different mindset on what it is we need to do with Conor Benn in that ring. That's why we brought Bowman.
Round after round, experience won't save him. Former Olympian Tony Jeffries summed it up perfectly. This isn't just another fight, it's about pride. For Benn, this rematch represents redemption and legacy. That viral sparring session that left Usyk stunned wasn't just impressive, it flipped the emotional script. Benn now carries the aura of momentum, and in boxing, momentum is everything. Eubank might still have the veteran edge, but Benn's youth, power, and raw determination are his greatest weapons. He's no longer the young prospect fighting for...
So I think he'll get a lot more people wanting to tune into that fight and obviously we're going to win the next fight. And but yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting Conor Benn ready to fight, and yeah, it's going to be historic.
Recognition. He's the man fighting to rewrite history. Sky Sports' Adam Smith sees this fight as a collision of two careers at crossroads. For Eubank, this is about survival, Smith said. For Benn, it's about validation. He's right. Eubank's reputation and future depend on this fight. Lose again, and his credibility as a top-tier middleweight collapses. But Benn's recent showings, especially his sparring domination against a heavyweight, have injected new confidence into his team. This isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about legacy. Benn isn't chasing redemption alone, he's chasing greatness. Every ounce of pressure fuels him. Every doubter adds to his motivation. For Eubank, the rematch is a test of endurance. For Benn, it's the ultimate proving ground.
And so this fight can only harm him. Because that was a hard fight, the first one. This one will be another hard fight, whoever wins, unless there's a real freak occurrence, not a freak occurrence, unless someone gets caught with a shot really early, then it's going to be a hard night. Which you still have to make Eubank the favourite again, like I did the first time. I mean, so I don't know.
Eubank's latest statements reveal his mindset. He doesn't want this fight to reach the judges. He wants a stoppage. His decision to bring in Bomac shows how seriously he's taking Benn's threat. But in doing so, he's acknowledged the danger. Because this isn't the same Conor Benn who once swung wildly. This is a calculated predator. The same fighter who dropped a heavyweight with composure and left Usyk wide-eyed. If Eubank plans to go for the knockout early, he'll have to walk through fire. Benn's explosiveness, precision, and newfound control could make that plan backfire in devastating fashion. Trainer Tony Sims, who's been with Benn from the start, speaks like a man who's seen transformation firsthand. His confidence in Benn is unwavering. What I've seen in the gym lately, it's different, Sims said. The same form that shocked Usyk is what he's bringing into this fight. He's not just ready, he's dangerous. Sims believes Benn's...
Do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and get an outcome in his second fight?
Without a doubt.
You do?
He couldn't have done any more. If he could have knocked out Conor in that fight, he would have done.
Yeah.
He just couldn't get rid of him. And Conor stuck it. So regardless of him being surprised that Conor stuck it out a lot more, he couldn't.
Evolution has been extraordinary. His mindset sharper. His focus absolute. To him, this isn't just another training camp. It's a historic turning point. He believes Benn won't just win, he'll dominate. For the fans, the storyline has shifted. It's not about the family rivalry anymore. It's about witnessing a fighter ascend. Everything about Benn's current form suggests a man preparing to deliver the performance of his life. Commentator Barry Jones remains cautious, still calling Eubank the favorite, but even his tone betrays hesitation. He acknowledges that while their first fight drained both men, Benn has used that experience as fuel. His resilience, conditioning, and focus are now his greatest weapons. That sparring session, the same one that made Usyk's jaw drop, showed the boxing world how far Benn has come. He's more composed.
To 168, he ain't coming back down to 160. So it's got a very short lifespan, this rematch. It's got to be done, the sooner the better. If I'm being brutally honest, the sooner the rematch happens, in my opinion, it favours Conor Benn, because he's the younger fighter who's took less damage and has had a much lesser career with much less experience. For someone like Chris Eubank Jr., it's going to take a while to turn around, and it's going to take a while to recover, because that was a hard fight for him. He was shook a number of times. He felt the shot.
More explosive, and far less reckless. Barry admits that while Eubank still holds experience, the gap is closing fast. In fact, it might already be gone. Nelson's deeper analysis hits hard. He calls it a fight between evolution and erosion. He believes Eubank's explosiveness has dimmed just as Benn's has peaked. That knockout wasn't luck, Nelson insists. It was control, precision, and belief. Benn's evolution is complete. His timing has improved, his defense tightened, his aggression measured. Eubank still speaks about experience, but the confidence behind those words feels thinner now. The rematch, Nelson says, will show which side of time wins, the fighter rising or the fighter fading. Few know wear and tear better than Tony Bellew, and his take slices through the noise. Eubank's been through wars, he said. Mileage like that doesn't heal overnight. Ben's in his prime now, physically and mentally. Bellew points out that the timing of this rematch is critical. The sooner it happens, the better it is for Ben. His rhythm, hunger, and youth give him an edge that grows sharper every week. For Eubank, every passing day adds recovery miles to a worn-out engine. Bellew sees it clearly. If the fight happens soon, it's Ben's to lose. He's faster, fresher, and fueled by the belief that the world finally sees what he's become. The anticipation is electric. Ever since that sparring footage leaked, the one where Ben floored a heavyweight and left Usyk visibly stunned, the conversation has changed. This isn't the same young contender chasing his father's name. This is a matured, battle-tested fighter on the brink of stardom. The rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. is no longer just about bad blood. It's about legacy, legitimacy, and the balance of power in British boxing. If Eubank wins, he preserves his reputation as the clever veteran who can still outthink the new generation. But if Ben wins, and all signs point that way, it's a changing of the guard. Every silent training session, every unseen punch thrown behind closed doors, has built to this moment. For Eubank, this fight is about survival. For Ben, it's about destiny. One man is clinging to what was, the other is rising toward what could be. When that bell rings, we'll find out which one truly defines British boxing's future. So tell us, when the rematch begins, who are you backing? The seasoned strategist Chris Eubank Jr., or the relentless reborn Conor Benn, the man who shocked a heavyweight, stunned Usyk, and is now ready to shock the world again?